the Advanced Integration Workshop is for people that have done the basic workshop that just want to explore more, find out more about PSYCH-K, learn how to do things in a faster and a more wholesale type way with their subconscious. In the basic workshop, we're working on one belief at a time, how to establish a belief at a time, working on one stressful situation at a time to transform that. With the advanced, we really come into working with big structures of beliefs and subconscious structures. So what I mean by that is we have a number of balances where we're never going to be balancing one belief or one stressful situation. We're going to have a whole chunk in a particular area of our life that we're able to really take ourselves on a real quantum leap forward in that area of our life. So we have various balances that we learn at the advanced. We have something called the rapport balance, which is really, rapport is the basis for all effective communication. And for some of us verbally, we can be visual, more visual in the way we hear words. We respond favorably to visual words and listen to more favorably to visual words, auditory or kinesthetic. And for the others, we can have stress around that. And so with the rapport balance, we're going to be able to keep our preference with visual, auditory or kinesthetic, but resolve any stress and become into a whole brain state when we're hearing or speaking these other modalities, visual, auditory or kinesthetic, which is very powerful for communicating. Saying that, the most powerful communication we have is non-verbal, and being able to pace and match and be in rapport with somebody that's speaking, to be able to speak while somebody is in rapport with us, be able to break rapport while someone is speaking to us, and also to be able to have rapport broken with us in a non-verbal rapport sense is extremely powerful. And even though we may be whole-brained, which means that whole brain state, access to both left and right side of our brain around one or a few more of those, this enables us to come into a whole brain state around all of those. So our communication just goes up. And really, when people are in rapport with us, they feel safe. When they're not in rapport with us, there is unpredictability. People have fear. And if you're a communicator, you need to communicate with people, whether it's your family in a business sense, or in any kind of public sense. This is a very, very powerful balance. We have something called belief points with energy focusing, which is the first time in PSYCH-K we're working with points on the body, similar to but different from the acupuncture points, where we actually have specific points that are a physical point on our bodies that have a psychological output, and we have a self-affirming and self-limiting statement that goes with each of these 12 points on our body. And so we're able to very quickly, with belief points, find beliefs that we need to balance. And we're also able to use these like transportation over and over again, like keys on a piano, to balance many, many different things. The way that we usually balance these belief points is with energy focusing. And the interesting thing is, when we have a positive or a self-affirming belief and a self-limiting belief, for example, I'm worthy of the best that love and life has to offer. Sometimes we could also have the limiting belief, I'm unworthy of the best that love and life has to offer. And it's a bit like having the foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. Sometimes we could be not have the unworthy of best love and life has to offer and be strong to the limiting belief. And that's really taking us in the wrong direction, or we could be weak to both. On all of these belief points, it's a very powerful way for the subconscious to communicate a lot more information to us than just using the muscle testing, which is like, dislike, true, false, yes, no. And this is a really wonderful thing to use. We also have something called the core belief balance. This was the first of the balances that Rob Williams, our originator, brought to PSYCH-K in 1988. This works with 13 very powerful beliefs that literally affect every area of our life. They're ubiquitous in every area of our life. The universe is a friendly place. I want to live. I trust myself. I'm an important part of divine, necessary and important part of divine intelligence. In spirituality, in physical health, in our mental health. And because of this broad-ranging area, this has its own balance, core belief. When each of these also has a limiting and self-affirming and self-limiting, but when we balance these, it is really incredible. Some of the instructors call this 3 years of therapy in one balance, the core belief balance. Then we learn something called surrogation. This is not a balance, and this is something for a lot of people that is tapping into one of these areas in life that is we all can do as human beings, but we've never realized that we can do, which is our ability to be able to work with someone's belief structure or their subconscious structure through somebody else's physicality. This enables us to work with small children, with animals, with friends, family, loved ones on the other side of the world. If you're working professionally, it enables you to work on Skype and be able to help change beliefs with somebody on the other side of the world. And it works in so many other different areas as well. It really opens up so many possibilities. We have also a relationship balance that enables us to be able to take ourselves or two people or someone in relation to any other person, group of people or entity. It could be a business, it could be the opposite sex, it could be the world, it could even be themselves, it could even be with their body, and be able to come into a completely whole brain state through the relationship balance, which is a wonderful extended balance, which includes 12, going through 12 of the belief points and looking for gifts and growth opportunities that both partners have to offer each other, and a whole bonding process and using bonding statements to really come into a whole brain state in that relationship. Participants have reported a deeper sense of connection when they see, hear or feel the presence of that partner after that point. Whether people are moving away from each other in relationships or together, it's not just to bring people together, it enables them to be whole-brained. It was one gentleman said that this, and his wife said that this was even more meaningful to them than the day when they did their marriage vows. So this was a very powerful balance. We also do the life bonding balance, which is all about fear of death, trauma of birth. There are huge studies in consciousness on the power of birth and what happens to us before we're born, from conception through to birth through to now, and to death and beyond. We're going to use in PSYCH-K breathing, which again, there's so much work on breathing in through the thymus point and out through the thymus center and out through the hara point to transform any stress we have and connected issues around trauma of birth, fear of death. And this is a very, very personal balance we do at the end of the advanced workshop that once again allows people to take a real quantum leap forward in their mastery of their subconscious and their connection to their subconscious, their alignment of their subconscious with their consciousness, and also to be able to really just take out so much of that stress and so much of the speed bumps. Overall benefit of all of these is that negative thinking just trickles down to, it literally disappears, and we come into the present moment and we just start living our lives from a very, very different point. At the very end of the advance, we have something we call the surprise or the mystery, which just opens up so many more possibilities in relationship to what we can do with the PSYCH-K process and how we can transform our lives and other people's lives. That's the Advanced Integration Workshop.